Hello, good morning, Otters. It is Wednesday and time for some English work. We were really pleased to hear yesterday you had a go at our noughts and crosses game, and I had some of your scores in, so well done if you managed to have a go. We're just trying to try new activities with you just to keep our momentum going. It's a bit hard, especially on the run up to half term, to keep ourselves motivated, and with the cold weather as well, it makes things a little bit harder. So well done if you had a go at that yesterday. We're going to play another little game now. It is called Word Find, Word Puzzle. I'm going to share the screen with you. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pen again. It can be a scrap piece of paper, that's fine. And it is a bit like a mental starter in maths. You don't need any more than 10 minutes with this activity, okay? So I'm going to share it with you to explain what it is first. Bear with me while I get it up for you. Word Scramble, I think it might be called. Word Puzzle, here we go. There's your word puzzle. And if I go to slideshow, here we go. And it's a 9-letter word puzzle. Now, the 9-letter word puzzle, there are letters, and I'll show you them in a minute, 9 letters. They make one 9-letter word, but you can also make lots of little words. You can use each letter once, so you can make lots of little words, and I'll go over that with you in a minute. So in 10 minutes, so time yourself 10 minutes in a moment. You have to find as many words as you can out of the letters I'm going to give you. But the biggest challenge is to see if you can find the 9-letter word. So let's have a look. Here it is here. How many words can you make from this letter, from these letters? You cannot use the letters more than once in each word unless it appears twice in the grid. So for example, here we've got C, k, 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 twice. So that means you can use it twice. And we've also got O twice. So you can use O twice or C twice, but you can't use A twice because there's only one. And can you find the 9-letter word? So using all of these letters, there is a word. Okay, so pause me now. In fact, I'll do one just so you know. So I can make the word cat out of these letters. I can make the word hot. Okay, they're 3-letter words. You can make any word that you want. Like you could make a 2-letter word like at, or you could make a, let me think of if I can do a bigger word, catch, catch, a 5-letter word. So as many words as you can in 10 minutes, maximum of 10 minutes, and see if you can find the 9-letter word. Pause me now, go and do that, spend 10 minutes and email me all the words you find, and if you find the magic 9-letter word. Off you go. Press play when you are done with 10 minutes. Okay, did you find them? Find the missing 9-letter word or lots of other words? Well, I was going to go over the answer with you now, but I think it's going to be quite intriguing for us to find out if you managed to find it. So send us an email if you've done them, a picture of all the words you found. And maybe if you did the 9-letter word, you could put a nice bubble around it so we can see that you found it. And I look forward to hearing all the words that you found out of those letters. Really good game to play just to get our English brains back into gear on our Wednesday morning. So I'll stop the share there. Yesterday and on Monday in our spelling lesson, we were looking at prefixes, and we're going to continue with that work today. The last day we're going to work on our prefixes. And these prefixes come from the Year 3 curriculum, and they are an objective that you need to cover while you're in Year 3. So we thought while you're spelling words where the prefix miss, and after half term your spellings are going to be the prefix dis, we thought that we would have a go at looking at some other prefixes. So I will share the screen with you and go over today's lesson. Oh, where is it gone? Here we go. So the prefixes we're going to look at today are super, anti, and auto. 3 different types of prefixes that we're going to have a look at today in today's activity. Okay, so our aim is to add the prefixes super, anti, and auto to words to create new words. And it's the same as what we were doing with miss, dis, and un yesterday, those prefixes, but we've just got different prefixes. So we can explain what a prefix is. I'm hoping you're going to be able to do that already. I can explain how adding the prefixes super, anti, and auto changes the meaning of words. Remember yesterday we realised that the prefix un meant not. So unhappy meant not happy. Unkind meant not kind. So we're going to see how it changes the meaning of the words with these prefixes. And you're going to create and spell new words using the prefixes super, anti, and auto. So what is a prefix? Well, we know what a prefix is from yesterday. A prefix is added to the beginning of a word to make a new word. And most prefixes are added to the beginning of root words without any changes in the spelling. So yesterday, when you did the mis, dis, and un prefixes, the root word didn't change at all. So here we've got a prefix super, and we've got the word hero. Super, hero, two separate words, put them together, become superhero. Nothing changes with the root word. Auto, auto, and graph, put them together, autograph. Nothing changes with the root word. Anti and septic. Now, septic might not be a word that you know of on its own, but it is a word on its own. Anti and septic, put it together, makes antiseptic. And we'll look at those again. Nothing has changed with the root word on any of those. It is important to understand the definitions of prefixes because they can help us to figure out the meaning of any new words. So yesterday, when we looked at un as a prefix, we needed to know that un meant not, because then it helped us to understand what the other words meant, the new words meant. Okay, so that's why we need to understand the prefix. So I want you to pause me for a minute, and on a scrap piece of paper in front of you, I would like you to write down as many words that you can think of that have the prefix super in front of them to see if we can figure out what they actually mean. So pause me for now, see if you can write down 5 like we did yesterday, and we can come back together and have a look. Okay, I hope you managed to get 5. It's quite a tricky one with super. So I got these words. I got supermarket. Super and market, 2 words, the prefix and the root word. Put them together, supermarket. Oh, that's interesting. What does it change it? So a market is like a little place, a market. A supermarket is a big place with lots of things. A market generally just sells one thing. If you go to a market, it might be a fruit market or a meat market, but a supermarket sells everything. Oh, that's interesting. I also got the word superwoman or superman. Well, a man and a woman on their own is just a man or a woman, but a superwoman or a superman, that means that they are extra special in some way, maybe like a character that you might find in a film or a book. It must mean they've got some extra powers or extra abilities. That's interesting to know. I also found the word superstar. Super and star. Well, if we call somebody a star, somebody who's good, maybe doing something, oh, you're a star, you are. Maybe you've done some really good work. But if I called somebody a superstar, that must mean that they've done something extra fantastic and done more than. So let's see if we can figure out what that means. I hope you managed to figure out some super words. Oh, here we go. So here's one, supernatural. Natural is the root word, super is the prefix, supernatural. That means greater than normal natural powers. So if you've got supernatural powers, like Spider-Man does have supernatural powers, I would say, because of his senses, hasn't he got really good hearing? He's got supernatural senses. So he hasn't got normal hearing, he's got supernatural hearing. So it means he's got greater than normal. A superhero. Well, a hero is somebody that does something really good. That's the root word. But by adding on super, they're not just any old hero. They have extraordinary powers. They do something more extraordinary than just a normal hero. That's interesting. Supernova. Okay, well, nova is a word you might not know on its own, but it is a word, a root word. And then we've got supernova. Well, nova would be describing a star, but a supernova is describing a star that has extra brightness because of a catastrophic explosion, because of a big explosion. So a star that suddenly increases greatly in brightness because of this explosion. So that means it's got greater. So if you've got supernatural powers, you've got greater than normal powers. If you're a superhero, you've got greater than normal extraordinary powers. If it's supernova, it's got greater brightness because it's got extra things going on. So it looks like the word super makes things greater, bigger than, more than. Yeah, look, it means greater or above. So when we add the word super to a root word, it means that the thing gets more or greater than. That's interesting to know. So let's have a look at auto then. Auto as a prefix. Pause me and see if you can write down 5 words that you can think of that start with the prefix auto. Have a go and then come back to me when you've done 5. Did you manage it? I think auto is a hard one, isn't it? Well, I managed to get these words. Autograph, like the one on there. Autograph. That's a signature, isn't it, from somebody, an autograph. I also managed to find autobiography. Oh, an autobiography is a piece of writing written about somebody, about themselves. I also found the word automobile. Automobile. Well, that's something that moves on its own. So what's the link then? What do you think auto might mean? I think it might mean that it's something that does it on its own. An autograph is your own signature. An autobiography is your own information about you. An automobile moves on its own. Let's have a look and see if we were right. Here we go. There are 3 here. Automatic. Oh, I did have that one as well. Automatic. So matic is a word on its own that you may not have known before. And then we've got auto, automatic. And that is a device or process that works by itself with little or no direct human control. So if something's automatic, it works on its own. Autograph is written by themselves, an autograph by somebody themselves. Autobiography, just like I said, is history of a person about themselves. So the word auto, the prefix auto, means, you've got it, self or own, okay, your own thing, about yourself. That's interesting. So we've got super, which means greater or more than or above. We've got auto, which means it's about yourself or your own. And the last one we're going to look at is anti. Anti. Pause me. See if you can write down 5 words with the prefix anti. Come back when you have written 5 down. Well done, year 3. That's another really hard one. Don't worry if you didn't get 5, that's okay. If you've got a couple, that's okay as well. If you didn't get any, we're going to go through them together anyway. The first one that I'm going to look at is one I wrote down, antiseptic, because that was the one we said at the beginning. So we've got anti and we've got septic, antiseptic. Now, septic might be a word that you might not be used to. If something is septic, it means that it is has infected, let's say. If something is septic, we could say it's infected. So if it's antiseptic, that means not infected. Antiseptic wipes means that we're getting rid of any bacteria. That's interesting. I also got the word antibiotics. That's a pill that people take sometimes when they're not feeling very well, antibiotics. Well, biotics are things that are good for your tummy. If you've got good biotics, it's good for you. So if it's antibiotics, maybe antibiotics are helping to get rid of things that aren't good in your tummy. So if you're not feeling very well and you have antibiotics, it's to get rid of those things that aren't very good in your body. They're getting rid of them. I also got the word antisocial. Well, this is very good for me because social is a word that I like because I like to be social. That means I like to be with people and I like to interact with people and I like being around people. If you're social, that's what you are. So if you're antisocial, what would that mean? Antisocial would mean that you don't enjoy being around people, that you don't like being around people. So anti to me seems like it means not or against. Let's have a look. We've got 3 here. Oh, look, we've got antifreeze, anti and freeze. Well, we know what freeze means, don't we? But antifreeze is a liquid that if you pour, it stops it from freezing. People have it in their cars. That's interesting. There's my one there, look, antibiotic. And that's a medicine that works against the growth of or destroys microorganisms. So it's working against those bad things in your tummy. And there's antiseptic, look, and that's preventing the growth of disease-carrying microorganisms, just like I said in there. So it means against or opposite of. So we were right. So we've got three prefixes there. We've got super, meaning something is greater or above or more than. We have got auto, which means yourself or your own. And we've got anti, which means against or the opposite of. Okay, so if you're against something, we would call you anti something if you are against it. So that's what the prefix means. So it is really important we understand what those three prefixes mean, because it changes what the word means. Okay, so that's the three we are looking at today. So you have got these worksheets saved in the OneDrive folder. If you are in David Walliams, you have just got this one sheet to complete, which is an advert page. And the advert page has got some pictures, and it's asking you to add the right prefix into these little spaces here to make it right, to make the advert correct. Okay, so have a look at it, see what it's about, see which prefix you think needs to go in there, anti, auto or super. And that's all you have to do today in David Walliams. What you could do if you're finished David Walliams is you could make a list of any other auto, anti or super words that you find. If you are in Roald Dahl, you are doing the same as David Walliams, but you've got an extra sheet here asking you to have a go at writing each of those words with a definition of what it means. So you may need to use a dictionary for that if you've got a dictionary at home, or you could use an online dictionary for doing that as well. Jacqueline Wilson, you're also doing the adverts and you're also doing the word definition, but you've got an extra extension here, and it says choose one of the products and write your own persuasive advert to help promote the product. So you are writing doing a piece of writing for me, which is asking you to promote it, to make people want it. Okay, so it says include the name of the product, what the item is and what it's used for. You could have a catchy slogan to do with it. Okay, you could do a drawing of it, like a poster, I would say, like a poster with a little blurb type piece of information to try and persuade people to buy it. So that's your tasks for today. Now, there is a little bit of a quiz we can do at the end of our lesson. So go off and do your prefix advert work. When you are finished, come back and we'll just do a little quiz to finish off our lesson. So pause me now, go off and do your work. When your work is finished, come back to me and we'll do a little quiz to finish off our lesson. Welcome back. Hope you got on okay with your work today, children. So we're just going to do a quick quiz to finish off today's prefix lesson. So we've got to choose the correct prefix for the bold word. She is a global star and loved by many. Which of the prefixes do I add to star? She is a global anti-star. That means that she's against the star. She's a global auto star. That means that she's her own star. Or she's a global superstar and loved by many. Well done, it's superstar. Click on there. Will it let it turn to green? There we go. Which means that she's more than just a star. She is bigger than a star. And we can tell by the word global as well, which means that she's known all around the world. Okay, let's have a look at this one. The Sonic jet named the Concorde was designed and built in Bristol. Bristol is a place in England. So is it the anti-sonic jet? That doesn't make sense, does it? The autosonic jet, does that mean that it flies on its own? Or is it the supersonic jet? Well done, it's the supersonic jet. And it's super because it's not just any ordinary jet. Supersonic means, I would say supersonic, sonic is going fast. It's not just going fast, it's going more than fast, greater than fast. So we call it supersonic. Well done if you got that one right. Okay, next one. A car is also known as and there's a clue here, look, because you did some work on an and a. A car is also known as an mobile. Well, an mobile doesn't make sense because an doesn't go in front of a consonant beginning word begin with a consonant. It goes in front of a word begin with a vowel. And you did some work with this with Mrs. Davis. So we know it's got to be a vowel. So it can't be super because super is a consonant. A car is also known as an supermobile, although that could work because you could have a mobile that's a car, and it could be a supermobile, more than just a normal car. But we know because we've got the word an here, so it can't be that. A car is also known as an antimobile. Well, that doesn't make sense, does it? A car is also known as an automobile, which means with a little bit of help from a human, it can drive, but it does a lot of work on its own. An automobile. Well done. Here we go. The actor signed graphs outside the premiere for his fans. So did the actor sign autographs, his own signature? Did he sign antigraphs? That doesn't make sense, does it? Did he sign supergraphs? That doesn't make sense, does it? Well done if you chose auto. It's his own signature. The actor signed autographs outside the premiere for his fans. It's his own signature, his own graph, his own piece of writing. Well done if you got that one right. Now, if you don't know this one, I'm going to be very shocked after all our work with time. So the opposite of clockwise is clockwise. That doesn't make sense, does it? So the opposite of clockwise is superclockwise. Well, if it was superclockwise, that would mean it was still going clockwise, but it'd be going super fast. Don't think that's right, is it? The opposite of clockwise is autoclockwise. That doesn't make sense either, because that would mean it's doing it on its own. The opposite of clockwise is anti-clockwise. Well done, because clockwise means going in this direction. Anti-clockwise is against that way, the opposite way. So it's going this way. Well done if you said anti, and you should have known that from all of the time work that we did in maths a couple of weeks ago. Well done. Let's have a look at this one. Comic book characters often have human powers. So human should be in bold there. I don't know why it isn't. Comic book characters often have human powers. Well, comic book characters don't just have human powers, do they? Do they have anti-human powers? Powers that aren't like humans? Well, that's could quite be true. Do they have auto-human powers? That doesn't make sense. Or do they have superhuman powers? That means they have powers that are greater than a human. Well done. That is the correct one. Oh, there we go. Superhuman powers. Okay, here we go. To stop my cut from getting infected, the doctor gave me some septic cream. Well, I would hope the doctor would never give you any septic cream, because septic cream would mean that it already had some bacteria, and we don't want that, do we? So is he going to give you some super septic cream, which means it's more than just normal septic cream? I hope not. Some auto-septic cream? That doesn't make sense. Or some antiseptic cream? Well done. That means it's against, it's the opposite of septic. Well done. And that would be helping you to get rid of the bacteria or the infection. Okay, we'll do this last one and then we will stop. Which is the correct prefix? My mum's car has an again, matic gearbox. Does she have a supermatic gearbox? Does she have an antimatic gearbox? Or does she have an automatic gearbox? Well done. It's the prefix auto. And we can see that because when we read these ones, they don't sound right either. I'm going to stop there. Well done on your work today on the prefixes super, anti and auto. Don't forget, this is not our marked piece of work today, but if you want to show us, you can via email. And we hope that you've understood just a couple of the differences that the prefixes make to words and learned something new today. I've learned something new. I hope you have too. Tomorrow, we are going to move away from our grammar work and our spelling work, and we're going to do a little bit of writing that I hope you're going to enjoy. And I know that you've worked really hard on your writing with Mrs. Davis over the past few weeks. So well done for that. And hopefully you'll be able to use the skills that you've learnt with Mrs. Davis to transfer into tomorrow's lesson. So I will see you tomorrow, and well done for today. See you soon.